Warning, no bathrobe. And I kind of looked at the webcam funny through this video for some reason. Hey guys, Vinny here. They did just break Jab again. Well, they didn't just do it. It's been out for a little bit. Since last night, they increased it to 8% base mana. So it's now 24,000 mana on your Jab cost. To put that in perspective, Surging Mist, 26.4k. I believe Surging Mist is like 8.8%. So Surging Mist and Jab is almost the same cost. I want to say, what's the mana cost on? Yeah, Spinning Crane Kick, 21,450. Yeah, that's a lot of mana. To compensate for that, for Fistweaving specifically, Muscle Memory, which is where the regen's tied into rather than Tiger Palm, Muscle Memory is now giving 4% mana back, so that's a little bit more than it is live. I think it's going up 1% on the mana cost overall. But for the most part, that should be fine for your Fistweaving. As far as Soothing, they did listen to the posts that have been made by myself and a lot of other monks regarding having an alternative guaranteed, well, somewhat guaranteed source of regen in the form of, in this case, Soothing Mist. So Soothing Mist right now, we don't have an actual value for it, but at least for me, it's been averaging 3 chi every channel. Sometimes it's only been 2, sometimes I've gotten 4 out of it, but it seems like the average is right about 3. So that's going to put you, depending on your haste, it's going to put you right about a chi every 2 to 2.33 seconds or so. I think that was outside of, yeah, that's without buffs, so it should be closer to the 2-second mark. So that is cutting your chi generation about half, assuming you were jabbing on GCD, but it puts us into a reasonable standpoint where we can actually heal from ranged. Soothing is a lot more guaranteed. Now, I don't want to say that it's guaranteed because I have gotten only 2 in a channel, but it's a lot more consistent than it used to be. Ghostcrawler did make a post on this. They really were very vague on the actual differences or the change to Soothing Mist. They didn't include values for it. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual math is behind it. We did do a boss test earlier this morning, and I did use Soothing the entire time. I didn't Fistweave at all, and it actually felt okay. We'll have to see a fight that's got a little bit more static AoE damage with where our numbers are. But for we did like Council of Elders or whatever, I was very comfortable with where my healing was. Soothing Mist chi generation was fine. Its mana efficiency is retarded. Like, it's really, really good compared to trying to jab even at the 6% values like I was doing before. So overall, the change is going to take a little bit to get used to. You really have to pay attention to what way your character's facing before you Chi Torpedo, because Soothing Mist does change the direction that you're facing, so it's kind of like Penance on steroids, because you have to, Chi Torpedo or roll out afterwards, so you've got to really be aware of what way you're facing. But overall, this really kind of widens the gap between Fistweaving and Mistweaving and breaking Zeal Weaving altogether, which is what Blizzard wanted to do. They wanted Fistweaving and Mistweaving to be separate things, and where it sits right now, it's definitely a lot more separate. I didn't Fistweave at all on that fight because I was wanting to toy around with the Soothing Mist, changing it kind of a general feel for its proc chance. But I realistically don't see you, swapping hard back and forth between the two very frequently, unless damage is a huge issue during progression. So overall, don't freak out. I know it sucks that jabbing is no more, but the Soothing Mist change, it's a lot better than it was before, and at least they gave us an alternative rather than just trying to break Fistweaving and saying, well, that sucks, just deal with it. So they did listen to us in that regard. I do feel strongly that they need to increase uplift healing to some degree, to compensate for the fact that we are generating chi about half as often as we used to, so our burst capability is going to be a lot less as a result. So hopefully they'll increase uplift, not double it, because that would probably be retardedly broken, but increase it even just a little bit to give us a little bit more in the burst department, I think will be a really good thing. The only downside to this is the fact that you are breaking Soothing Mist constantly to kind of micromanage your Renewing Mist, your Expel Harm, and your Mana Tea stacks. Or timers on all of those, but it's working out okay that I don't think it's really going to be that big of a problem to deal with. It's definitely a hard change, but it's something that's welcome, and I'm actually enjoying it so far. The tier 30 talents, they do still blow. I don't know why they did that, but the tier 30 talents, I've been using Chi Burst mostly in 25-man. It seems like as long as Chi Burst hits 6 targets, then it's going to be better. Then Chi Waves and Spheres kind of going to be fight dependent. We'll have to kind of toy around with that. So we'll kind of see where that puts us. As far as our 2-set and our 4-set, our 4-set's going to be dependent on the fight, but I'm really enjoying the 2-piece. I feel like they're going to have to nerf it, though. It is 15% increased healing every time it jumps to a new target. So to put things in perspective, it's your initial application is 100% of the value of what it's supposed to be healing at. When it jumps the first time, it's going to do 115% of healing, or a 15% increase. And then when it jumps the final time, that one is going to do I want to say it was like 132.5, so it's like a 32.5% increase on the final jump. And as a result, when you Thunder Focus T, it refreshes the timer, it doesn't actually reapply it, so your Renewing Mist increase is actually carrying over through Thunder Focus T. So the 4-set, if it's a static AoE fight, is actually going to be really good. In that instance. The fight that we did today, I was sitting right about 40% of my healing was Renewing Mist. It was just absolutely insane. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a nerf to some degree on this, but I would say 2-set probably mandatory for progression. I would really, really like to have this during progression. It'll make a significant difference in my healing. As far as stat priorities, still mostly stays the same. I might actually be dropping a bit of my spirit. My mana was feeling really, really good during testing today. So I might actually be able to afford to drop some spirit in favor of more intellect, but we'll toy with that and we'll come back with another video regarding that later. General consensus, the change is welcome. It's going to take some fine-tuning to get there, but I'm glad that they're listening to us. They have made some changes, and if they leave things where they're at right now, I will be on my monk for 5.2. All they can really do is make it better. So hopefully they do make it better, but it is manageable enough that I should be able to play on my monk throughout all progression, notwithstanding any encounters that we decide we want to bring 12 Disc Priests to or whatever. That's going to be it for now. We should be live streaming later tonight and tomorrow and Sunday, US and EU viewer raids respectively. Sorry that streaming's kind of been limited, but again, we are doing PTR testing and progression kind of takes priority over the stream, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll see you guys tonight. If not, we'll see you for the next video. I will be doing more monk videos, hopefully, in the near future, so please make sure to follow, subscribe to the channel, and check that out.